Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Of course, my name is Tommy and this here is Licensed to Griddle, and I wanted to start this show off with a brief conversation with you guys. I know you hear the term best burger, life-changing burger, God's gifts to burgers, make this burger, juiciest burger, blah 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 blah. But I am here to tell you that this burger is definitely going to be the best burger you ever had in your life, and it is only a couple ingredients. And it is all going to start with roasting off of bone marrow. Now look, if you've never had bone marrow, I can tell you it is buttery, silky smooth and has a great beefy taste with it. We have mixed that in with our 90-10 ground sirloin. We also did some nice chop on an onion and mixed that bone marrow in with that. Added to that, we've got some deli sliced extra sharp cheddar cheese. And that is it, man. Throw in a little bit of dusted, throw in a little bit of Scotch smoked Q. That is a cocoa coffee rub, and I am telling you, this burger right here is one of the best burgers you ever ate in your life. And this is the burger here. And let's give you a little sneak peek on that taste test. Yeah. Alrighty, also this one is going to get started with our bone marrow. Out of the package they go, in a roasting pan they go, salt and fresh cracked black pepper on both sides. Set that oven temp to 350 Fahrenheit. In the oven they go. You are going to wait 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, get them out, get them on the plate. Now you can grab a spoon. I used a smaller spoon and also the back end of a spoon because you're going to want to get that bone marrow out. And look, if any drippings drip on the plate, that is also bonus, so you are going to want to save that. Once you get all that bone marrow out, we are going to turn our attention to the onion, and I am going to go with one white onion that I am only going to use half. It is a pretty big onion, so that is all I need. Now look, on this cook here, I am going to go with a thick chop. You can go with a slice. I mean, I really don't think it matters to the recipe, but for me, thick chop just sounded right. And now on to our burger meat. I went with a 90-10 sirloin. The reason behind that is we are going to introduce a lot of fat with that marrow in each burger, which you will see in about 10 seconds. So I just figured a 90-10 would be perfect. I got a pound. I will split that in half pound each. Grab a scoop of marrow and put it on each burger. I would probably guess about 3-4 tablespoons, but you want to save some marrow for the onions. After that, just form out your burgers. Once you get those burgers all formed out, just leave them on the board. Believe it or not, that is all it is for the prep. Now let's get on back over to that griddle and let's get that fired up. Alright guys, welcome back to Licensed to Griddle. Let's get griddling. And the first thing, obviously, we've got a nice clean surface here. I've got full burners up and we are 340, pretty much 340 across the board. I'm going to lower these burners over here. And obviously the first thing up is going to be on our onions. And to those onions, of course, we've got some bone marrow. You knew I was going there. And if you've never had bone marrow, it is very buttery in texture, kind of silky smooth, and definitely has that beefy flavor. If you've never tried it, I'll have links down in the description. You can check your local market. I know Wild Fork carries it and a few other places carry it. So look around and pick some up because you are definitely going to want to make this burger. There's no doubt about it. And I've got for these burgers here, which are basically half-pound burgers, I decided to do a thick cut onion. And as this cooks here, that bone marrow will basically just start to melt away. As we introduce a little bit of fat in, of course, bone marrow fat. And of course, my rubs of choice for this cook is going to be in this coffee, this cocoa coffee magic. I'll have links down in the description, and also the dusted. This is a burger and steak seasoning, so that is almost not fair. I will hold my dusted off for the burgers, but I am going to get a little bit of this cocoa coffee magic on these onions. I have used this in the past, and I got to tell you, man, this is good stuff right here. Now we are a little warmer over here, so I'm going to get these moved over. At this point, the onions are, they're probably about 60%, 70% done. I'll move these over into to where it's a little bit more cooler, but what I want to do here is I want to get those burgers on. And again, you've got some of that marrow in the burger, so that is going to introduce a lot of fat into the griddle. We see if we see we need to add more, we'll hit it with a little bit of oil, and also I got some butter on standby. And of course, we are going to go with that dusted. I'm going to hit both sides. I'll hit this side here on the raw side. I'll flip it in and then hit the top. Now we are looking to get a nice sear on these burgers. So we're just going to leave them be for about, probably about 3-4 minutes. And at that point, we'll flip them over. I mean, you got to love burger cooks. The payoff is great, and they are very simple to do. So that was about 4 minutes here on this side. Let's give these a nice flip. And that is a pretty good sear. We will hit it with some dusted. And also what I want to do here is I'm going to move these onions over where they're a little bit more hotter. Introduce some butter into the cooler zone. And of course get our rolls on. And I love anytime I am working the griddle, as I've said in many shows, I've got, at this point, I've got these two zones lit up full. I've got these two zones here completely off because I'm going to get some residual heat. And basically where the burgers are is 440. And coming down here is 3 1/4. And over where the onions are about 350. And I've got no problem with we've got some onions that are, I call it browning. Others would call it the onions are burnt. Either way, that is what I like, so I have no problem with that. If you didn't want them cooked like this, obviously you can just take them right off the griddle, put them on the side, and when you need them, you get them back on and you get them on the burger. So at this point, I've got a dome. I am going to get a dome on these burgers and let them go. So I do have my hand held. I'll keep an eye on these burgers. And we're about 105 or so. These aren't necessarily one flip burger, so we can give them another flip. So at this point, my buns are good. I'm going to move these buns over to the board. We've got about another 3 minutes or so on this burger. I'll let it go 2 minutes, then I'll cheese it, and we will build the burgers over there. All right, I am pretty happy here. I am going to get the cheese on. And these are definitely going to be a cheesy burger. There is no doubt about it. I mean, these onions are absolutely perfect. Alrighty, that's been about a minute. Let's just take a little bit of peek. I've got a little bit more water on standby if needed. And that looks good to me. Oh, yeah. So look, what I want to do here is let me get these burgers off. Let me get them over to the board. We've got to build these. Then we are going to do that taste test, talk about it, and close out the show. All right, guys, and that is it. And I got to tell you, man, I already did the taste test in the beginning of the show, which was actually a couple minutes before this because I had to cook the burger first. And everything I said in that opening is 100% fact. I mean, this burger is juicy. This burger it's got an excellent flavor. You can get the bone marrow in there. It is very beefy. It is very buttery. It is a different tasting burger that I am telling you, man, you have to try. I mean, I can't think of another way to make a burger. I'm going to try this again on the charcoal grill because that's how good the flavor of this is. Let's go on and get that on-screen taste test. So look, man, I'm telling you, man, the onions have a nice char on it. That is the way the channel likes it. But the game changer with those onions, again, is mixing in that bone marrow. I don't even think I put any butter in the onions. With the bone marrow, it really just doesn't need it. And the burger, man, is just, it's juicy, it's beefy. That extra sharp cheddar cheese is right there in the forefront. Again, the two rubs, the dusted and that coffee cocoa rub that I put on there is it just takes it through the top, man. Guys, I've been doing a lot of burgers on the channel lately. I'll drop a list down in the description if you have not seen them. And this burger is right up there with the best. I mean, there's some pretty good burgers that I made. It's hard to think back, but I am telling you, if I went out to a restaurant and ordered a burger like this and they actually served it like this, I'd be through the roof, man. I mean, you just don't get good burgers like this in restaurants. So look, man, that is going to close out this show. I appreciate all you guys for watching. My name is Tommy, and I guess that makes me the Griddler. You guys have been showing up in droves, and again, man, I certainly appreciate it. And until next time, we will see you